Hey guys, I'm here at the Denver Nature Natural History and Science Museum. It's one of the top in the world. Stalagmite, mineral-rich groundwater drips into a cave floor and evaporates. It leaves behind fine-grained calcite or aragonite that slowly forms layers of stalagmite. This is lapis lazuli, nephrite jade. This I think is pyrite. And this is quartz. Look how cool. It looks like ice or glass. And here's a big thing of quartz. First starting out in the Egyptian mummies, Osiris legend. Here's a god that was the good king of ancient Egypt. He was murdered by his evil brother Seth, threw his body into the Nile River, but Osiris' wife Isis recovered him. Here's the wife right here. There's Osiris. Tore his brother's body apart and scattered the pieces all over Egypt, collected the pieces and bandaged them back together. Then, with his magical powers, Isis restored Osiris to life. Crazy. Then your destination to the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians mummified the dead to help them reach the afterlife, becoming an Osiris. Right here is Osiris. In the afterlife, the dead person would join the god Osiris. In fact, the person was said to become an Osiris. Ancient Egyptians believed the Osiris, a mythical king, was the first person to gain life after death by being mummified. So they thought not only you would see him, you would also become a part of him. This mummy was actually created in 1994 by the Egyptian Study Society. They spent many years making the mummy actually looked like original to its time, and you can see all the art, the wings, all the story that they were depicting with the hieroglyphics made completely accurate to what. Here is the mummy. She's 240 years old. This woman was actually found, and she was actually just in her 30s, which is actually a long life for the Egyptians. She was actually didn't have much. Her organs, her brain still stayed intact in her body. That means she was probably mummified a little later in time from an actual mummified person. Here we're going to see the process of getting their bones, then mapping it out with all these pins to try to figure out all the details and curvature to then get the actual picture of a real mummy. This is a mummy from 2,900 years ago. But after you meet the god, you are judged by the weight of your heart. You actually want it to balance with a feather. And if it doesn't balance, not only are you not getting to the afterlife, you actually have to meet the monster Amit, who represents the human-headed bird. And here is the actual spell to say when your heart is being weighed, because they thought that's where your soul was. Oh, my heart, which I had for my mother, do not be hostile to me in the presence of the keeper of the balance. Do not tell lies about me in the presence of the God. Here we come into the special exhibit at the Museum of the Bugs. Venom, mind control, explosive, arthropods, body and segment, no backbone, jointed limbs, insects, 6 legs, body divided into 3 parts, arachnids, 8 legs, body divided into 2 parts, includes spiders, scorpions, and myriapods, many legs, body divided into many parts, including centipedes and millipedes. I don't think any of you guys want to be hanging out with these scary boogers. See this mantis. She might rhyme with my last name, and she might be giving you those big eyes and displaying herself very cutely, but don't trust the woman. She uses her bright colors to attract flying bugs. A lot of bugs just think she's a flower. Then she snatches them up with lightning speed, and frankly, she might look cute, but it's not going to work out so well for them. Usually she bites their heads off And maybe she gets a good meal, but I don't think you'd enjoy it. Probably who you don't want to hang out with. This big old rat with the bloodshot eyes, the tail that wraps all around, and those teeth that you... Here's an actual hornet's nest. I'll look at it in this glass case. I ain't getting anywhere near those in real life. But most of them, surprisingly, actually fake out in Colorado and do not sting. They have stingers with extensions just to trick you. You can see how he senses things around him on his arms, and those big eyes and beautiful detailed wings. Jewel Wasp zombie brain surgeon, devoted mom. And here is her doing her mad zombie work, all on this poor grasshopper. You don't mess with a mom.
spanning 5,700 square miles, the Serengeti is a rare and protected area with an astonishing diversity of life. Untouched wildlife on this scale endures today in few places. It's special and rare. To protect it, we need to understand it. So how does it all work? Lions are kings of the Serengeti. But they're not. So if not the lion, which is the key species here? It's the humble wildebeest, or gnu. Gnu are mild-mannered grazers. So what makes them supreme on the Serengeti? Numbers. There are more than 1 million of them. And everywhere they go, they have a ripple effect on this ecosystem. Wildebeest's home turf is in the north of the Serengeti. For about 5 months, there's enough good grazing and a permanent water source to take care of the entire herd. But by late October, the massive population has nearly exhausted the food supply. An instinct drives this wildebeest calf to stand. See if the cubs have been paying attention to their lessons. Here comes the opposing team. The wildebeests focus on defense. The cubs, on the other hand, well, they're acting like it's playtime. Definitely a foe. Luckily for this calf, this lion is not looking for a meal. Intuitively, wildebeest's moms give birth late in the morning, after the predators have fed. At the Mara, a drink of water can have deadly consequences. The instinct of a single animal triggers the herd to follow. Serengeti ecosystem's other major migration.
Here's the creatures in the most deepest part of the sea. Place we never get to see. It's not meant for us. It's only meant for sea gooseberries, comb jellies, and hunting in slow motion Bera ovatas. Here's planet plankton. It actually provides oxygen for the rest of the sea creatures in the water. It actually lives off photosynthesis and converts its cellular energy from the oxygen into light. that is actually hard to transmute through the water, but it actually works in the ecosystem to help oxygenate everything around it. Here is the sea seraphina. It's actually the most abundant group of tiny animals. This tiny sea sapphire are able to change appearance in an instant, from jewel-like blue to gold and even to invisible. Microscopic layers of crystal plates in the cells on their back help them to pull this trick off.